you know, despite the two biggest games of the season so far, there's still plenty of other things happening in the NFL. Coaches are being hired. And how about this? Nick Sirianni. If you can't get Frank Reich to come back and work with Carson Wentz, Frank Reich, the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, next best thing, hire his right-hand man offensively, and Nick Sirianni. Sirianni expected to be the new coach of the Eagles. What was your reaction when you heard the news that it's going to be Sirianni?
Well, for a couple of days this week, I really thought that that the answer was going to be Josh McDaniels. McDaniels had a separate, distinct individual conversation, a very long one with Jeffrey Lurie. I think it was Wednesday morning. And I thought McDaniels was going to get the job. But clearly, this job was all about which coach the Philadelphia Eagles thought could not only pilot their team, but could fix, as importantly, Carson Wentz. They're all in on Wentz. And Mike, you know what? It just creates an interesting situation where the Philadelphia Eagles now believe that the Frank Reich disciple and not the Andy Reid disciple, one of them, either Eric Bieniemy or Mike Kafka, was going to be the guy to fix Wentz. That is what this job is all about.
Yeah, look, I agree with that completely. That's what the Eagles need to do more than anything else. You mentioned the Josh McDaniels conversation with Jeffrey Lurie. I had heard earlier in the week that Howie Roseman wanted McDaniels and that the more difficult sales job would be Lurie. What you're hearing, if we can harmonize the two together and speculate a little bit, it sounds like McDaniels didn't sell Lurie or Lurie didn't ultimately sell McDaniels. For Josh McDaniels, he's got one more shot whenever he takes it. The question is, how open is the window, Peter? I feel like that what happened 3 years ago with the Colts still gets held against him in some circles. I don't know that another team is concerned that if he says he's going to take the job at some point between the verbal commitment and putting pen to paper, Bill Belichick's going to get him to change his mind again. But I just feel like there's something that's been hovering over Josh McDaniels for the last 3 years that's been hard for him to eradicate as he tries to explore these opportunities to possibly be a head coach again.
Mike, people clearly are holding against him the fact that he walked away from a verbal agreement to coach the Indianapolis Colts. And look, I know this situation very well, and the Colts are very happy to have Frank Reich as their coach. But how ironic is this? Think of the irony here, that Josh McDaniels, a couple of years after that now. 3 years, fully 3 years after that, in essence, if you think about it, went to try to get a head coaching job and was the closest since, he almost had the Indianapolis job. He had it and then gave it up. And the guy who beats him out for this job is the disciple of the guy who took the Indianapolis job when McDaniels walked away. So, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to look at that and just, I don't know who's going to look at it and say, oh my God, that is the definition of irony. But I think those who don't look at the full case of Josh McDaniels, which I have done, I think they're making a big mistake. I think he's an excellent coach and is going to be a good coach for somebody in his second time around. Now, he's just got to get that shot. Will he get it? I don't know. But it's clear that what happened in Indianapolis has dogged him.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.